Alright, so in this game, we're just gonna first off by talking about the team comps. So, um, pretty obviously, blue side is a dive comp. They have Kennen, Nocturne, Silas, Kaisa, and Alistar. They want to get on our backline and just kill them and then continue the fight in skirmish, right? Especially with Silas. Silas is, and Kaisa are pretty decent in long fights. They're able to, kind of weave in and out and stay alive. Um, all of them just want to get onto our Ori and Ash. Looking at red side, our comp, it's looking more like an engaged comp with Zac, Ori, and Ash. Ash and Ollis, right, with a 4-1 kind of playstyle with allowing split pushing. Um, these team comps, so when you're playing engage into dive, the main thing you want to focus on is the engage has to engage onto their front line. You have to fight front to back. Otherwise, if you just try to dive onto their Kaisa, then they're just gonna go dive onto your back line, and their dive will always beat your dive. Since again, they have 5 champions that want to go into your back line, whereas it's the Zac just signals out someone on signals out the Kaisa. If Kaisa dies, it's whatever. They have 3 other damage sources. Whereas for us, if our backline dies, our damage is really, really like screwed. So, given that, we always want to make sure we're playing front to back in team fights, and we always want to make sure that we're trying to stop their carries from getting onto our backline, right? And we have the tools for that. We have Zac, we have Ash arrows, we have Ori ults, we have Nautilus hooks. We have so many tools. We just have to be focused on peeling. Yeah. So moving forward in this game, the first thing we're gonna kind of go over is this bot wave state. So we're just gonna take a look at how this plays out, right? And pretty much I'll kind of explain what kind of screwed them. Right? Oh, sorry. Jump back a little bit, and I'll pause at the exact moment. So this wave state is really, really bad, right? You have no wards, you're really pushed up, the wave is kind of frozen for them, and so the most obvious solution is you have to push this next wave. It doesn't matter about hitting these Alistar and Kaiser, you have to push this next wave and back and take a recall. And in fact, it's actually good for you guys because you'll be able to get like a cheater recall off. Nautilus might be able to go mid and go roam, but you don't want to stay in this area, otherwise Nox is just gonna gank you and you're gonna die, right? And based on what happens is we're gonna look and see is that this wave gets stuck here for quite a bit, and it's actually never able to actually crash. Right? We're not really focused on the minions. Right? We're not. The wave is too big, and the next wave comes in. We're still trying to push this wave in, and we can just never crash it. Right? So if the Nocturne did start bottom or top and was already here, we already died. Right? So still awful wave state. Right? Now it's returning. It's pushing back towards us. Right? And this is going to lead to something. Right? So that's just kind of the first point is we want to make sure that we're never in gankable states, and this is a very gankable state. And since we're there for a whole minute and a half, that's super dangerous for us, given the fact that we didn't even know where they started. So, yep. Moving on to the second point. So, over here. So pretty much to my knowledge, there is a scuffle that happens between the bot lane, and we are left with the lane state in a second. Right, this happens, no one dies. Right, we are left with a lane state like this. Right, now I guess you're thinking it's like, oh, Alistar's super low. We can stay in lane. Ash is a potion ticking, right? But the big thing you guys gotta realize is that you have to know where your jungler is, right? Our jungler's on the other side of the map. We have no support. We don't know where Nocturne is. We haven't seen him in a while, right? I'm gonna put on red version just to make sure for you guys, right? If the map is entirely dark, the only way we'd see them is they come through lane, right? So the obvious kind of play here is to let them push the wave into you, and you just pick up the CS and you can make a recall, right? But again, look what happens. We're still trying to contest the wave. They fight us. We die, right? both get double kills, and when all we had to do was let them push the wave into us, and they were pushing. It wasn't the fact that they weren't. They were pushing into you. You just kept trying to hit the wave and stop the push. So again, making yourself ungankable is the most important thing you can do in these games, especially when your jungler's not around. Right? If the Zac was right here, I would have been like, yeah, okay, this is an okay play, right? But your jungler's all the way like near red buff. What is the point of this? So there's that. The next thing we need to talk about is here. So for one of getting in this game, you guys want to play for drag, right? Which is it's not bad, yeah, it's fine, right? But you gotta look at where your advantages are, right? First thing you check is, okay, have we bought all our items? And the answer is yes. So we have some gold in mid and 80 carry, but nothing too crazy. We're on decent items comparatively to the enemy mid and ADC, right? So this is okay to fight, and especially their Nocturne hasn't even backed yet, so perfectly fine, right? The thing is, where's our advantage, right? Just based on health bars, based on where lane priors are. Our pressure is clearly in the mid lane. The Sylas has really low HP compared to our Orianna, right? So ideally, if we're making a drag play, we want to make it around this Orianna, right? Because that's where our lead is, right? If we want to get a pick before before the fight starts, we want to look at the Sylas, right? Everyone else is kind of harder to kill, right? The thing that screws us up is we're trying to make a play around bot lane, and we have no idea where the Nocturne is, right? Again, we are not warded. Our vision sucks. How can you guys confidently make this play without knowing where the Nocturne is? And especially the fact that, like, you know, especially knowing the fact that, like, Alistar's about to hit 6. So now it's level 5 not Nautilus to level 6 Alistar, and Alistar's ultimate is really, really strong, right? It's just you're taking a risk on a play for no reason. When all you guys had to do was go onto the Sylas or play around the Sylas, push him out of lane, force him to recall since he has no TP, and then Dragon's free, right? You win the Dragon 4v3. But we tried doing this high risk play, it ends up not working, and they get another kill and Dragon. So they get another 2 kills and another Dragon. So there's 2 fights that shouldn't really have happened to give them 4 kills. The next thing I want to talk about is the second drag fight. So this was you actually do pretty good here, right? So you guys know they're there, you know Nocturne. You see the Nocturne, you see they're all there, and you're kind of baiting for a peel back. I really like this turnaround. You guys win this fight. Everything else is perfect. Right? You guys hit the Sylas too. Everything is all Gucci so far. Right? The bad part about this is look at lane states, right? This silence is down for 14 seconds. Nocturne's come spawning now. We don't really need 4 people on this dragon. 3 people's enough because someone has to push this mid lane in, right? Otherwise, it's gonna freeze in front of his tower, right? And I'm just gonna like let the lane play out, and you're gonna see how many minions we lose. Right? So 1, 2, 3. We already lost like 5, 6, 7. That's one and a half waves, right? So we lose a wave and a half of CS, and now it's on a bounce back. What should have happened is either the Orianna backs right away, or the Orianna stays and just autos the tower, and then Ashe goes and clears mid wave out. But someone has to go and clear mid wave, or someone has to go and clear or get ready to hit that wave. But Orianna just auto attacking is just so useless here. So I would 100% want Orianna to back and walk mid and clear the wave out. Another mistake is obviously like we leave here. What is the point of why are we trying to fight here? There's no reason to hook. Look at your Orianna. It's like How can you guys fight with this HP and mana? Like, you guys are playing by yourself. I understand this is IBS, but you guys aren't stupid. Okay? Look at your team, look at your health bars. Can you fight? Donald doesn't even have mana. And you guys are trying to pick a fight here. These are just deaths for no reason. The next one is 17 minutes. And here, I'm going to kind of explain to you again why I was talking about team comps at the beginning. Right? Again, from like I said at the beginning, when you play engage versus dive, you want to engage on their front line. Because most times in dive comps, they don't have good front line. Right? So you want to play front to back, make sure none of their divers can get onto your backline. The only way we lose that is if our engage goes onto their backline and leaves our backline stranded. Now let's watch what happens. Right? Zach goes right onto the Kaisa, and now look, both of our carries are just sitting here like ducks. Like, you see Kaisa, but you don't see anyone else. How can you confidently engage on this? You guys have to think better, or else other teams are just going to stomp you guys like this because they know you guys don't know how to engage or understand team comps. And also, who can follow up on the Zac there unless someone else is like really close? It would only be Orialt, and I don't think that's enough to kill a Kaisa that has flash, that has ult, right? It's just a really bad engage that we lose 4-4, and now the gold leads 4K. Now the gold lady is like, okay, we're a little bit screwed. There's still something we can work on, but right. For here, um, right. So as Oriana here, how can you not be scared? You see only Alistar on the map, right? Everyone else is up. Your whole team, oh, you see Cantu. The point is, you don't see Nocturne, you don't see Silas. Your whole team is on the bot side of the map or in base. You have zero protection. I understand you have an allowing TP, but again, it's you have one person missing versus two people missing on your side. So how can you confidently walk up this wave and clear this up here? Again, just stupid plays. You guys are easily gankable. It's like there's no reason for this. You have no one with you. You end up giving just 2 kills away. I like the fact that you guys try to TP and make this play work, but it's just we can't be making these 2-man plays or 1-man plays when they're playing as a team. Okay, and then the last thing I'm gonna talk about is this Baron fight. So we see Baron's full HP. Right now we don't see them, right? But they're off map. You don't see anything. We can pretty much determine that, like, if this guy's trying to block here, they're gonna be touching this, right? But this can even be more determined by is when they blue trinket this bush, right? Or you guys have vision as well, so you guys clearly see them on it, and they blue trinket, which means that they're 100% on it already. If you guys are going to fight, then you need to go in soon. You need to tell the Ori to TP, and you guys have to go in. It has to be an instant reaction. What you guys do is you just sit around here, like holding your dicks in your hand or something, and it's just like, if you're gonna fight, fight. If not, if the plan was okay, we can't fight this bear and they're too ahead of us, you know, take their bot lane camps, right? Take your camps, clear these waves, right? Like push waves mid, like you know what I mean? Like make it so their Baron can't be used better. But when you just sit around here, what is that doing? So again, I'm not because after this point the game is pretty much done. Um, it's really hard to play into a dive comp when their divers are really fed, right? Like this Nocturne's just gonna one shot our backline. Our carries aren't fed either, so playing engage when the carries can't do damage is really hard to play. So this game is pretty much over. But the three main points of this game are think before you make any play. Who's on the map? Who's off the map? Can I get ganked here? If the answer is yes to any of those questions, then back off. Second question, second one is always be ungankable when you don't have your jungle around you. So if you need to keep your wave state on your side near your tower when you can't make an aggressive play. If you guys are planning to be aggressive, then sure, push your lane up. But otherwise, pushing waves straight into their tower is really really dumb. And then third of all, stop making two or one man plays. If you're gonna play like a team, if you're playing comp, play like a team. Call your Nautilus over, call your Oriana to come over. Make sure your junglers around, right? Like make sure you guys are working together and not just working as in pairs. We'll see how the other games go, but I understand this is IVS, but you guys need to play better if you guys want to win.